Sounds so official. Okay, well, so this is the Add-ons community meeting for April 19th, 2021. I'm joined today with Sylvain, one of our awesome community members. Got a couple of updates today and maybe a freewheeling discussion. We'll see. So first, I would just like to give a shout out to some friends of Add-ons that we weren't able to give a public shout out to at the previous meeting because it was canceled. So I just want to acknowledge Melanie Chevelle, who is our most recent friend of Add-ons. Melanie is an extension developer, and she has done some really awesome work enhancing and fixing some bugs in the tabs API. Definitely check out the blog post and celebrate her accomplishments because Melanie is really awesome. And then I also wanted to thank Lisa, our former outreachy intern. Lisa recently, so after Lisa's internship was over, she started and completed a project to build a front end for the AMO homepage admin tool. Which is super cool. So it's a tool that's going to help Scott really easily be able to manage the add-ons that we feature on the AMO homepage. Before, Scott would have to file issues with our engineering team, and that takes all sorts of lead time and has to go through a pretty lengthy QA process. Now it's going to be much easier for him to change content on the AMO homepage thanks to the tool that Lisa built. So super awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa. We're going to start today with some administrivia about some upcoming Firefox releases. So Firefox 88 is currently out. With Firefox 88, the Firefox built-in implementation of FTP is being disabled before it is removed from Firefox 90. So FTP is a file transfer protocol that is very, very old and was not built with security in mind. Other major browsers have already removed their built-in FTP implementation of this tool. So we're catching up. We had announced plans to deprecate this last year at about this time. We held off on removing the code because we weren't quite sure what position folks around the world were going to be in to kind of like get updated or like make changes, what with the global pandemic. But things have more or less, we've kind of found ways of adapting, I guess, given the current situation. And so that code is slated to be removed in Firefox 90. So Firefox 89, which is slated to go into beta today. So at some point today or tomorrow, your beta build will likely update with 89. 89 is going to be one of our major releases this year. So it's been codenamed Proton internally. So if you see the words Proton being thrown around, that's just a reference for 89. 89 is probably not going to have a lot of impact to extension developers, but what it is going to have is changes to some theming properties. So there's a blog post published this morning that kind of outlines what is happening. So the toolbar area and the tab strip, those are getting a makeover. We're getting rid of a couple of themable properties. So a lot of like separator lines, it's going to be a little bit more streamlined. The biggest change that I just want to flag, especially for theme artists, is that the active tab is going to look a little bit different in Firefox 89. So currently it's like a horizontal bar on the top border of the tab. In 89, the border is going to be on all sides and it's going to be about 3 pixels. So it's going to look a little bit thinner. So we've included a couple of screenshots in the blog post that folks can check out. I would encourage theme artists to kind of test how their themes look using Firefox 89, either running a nightly build or a beta build sometime later this week, just to kind of get used to how it looks. And if there's any changes that you want to make, you can go ahead and do that. I rewrote some of our theming documentation on Extension Workshop. So I'm just waiting for that PR to get approved and merged. And I've included some instructions for how you can update themes, because I know that's been a sore spot for a couple of people for a while. So hopefully that'll help folks it's not always intuitive how to update themes on AMO. So some other stuff around theming is we still have to update the documentation on MDN, so noting which properties have been deprecated and how the active tab now appears. And the other thing is that this is going to impact Firefox Color a little bit. So Firefox Color is our in-house extension that lets people have fun making themes. So we're going to have to remove a couple of properties from that and probably change how the previews work, or change some of the UI in Firefox Color to more accurately depict what the tabs look like. So we're still kind of scoping out how big those changes are. We're hoping that a few of these can be good first bugs that community members can just kind of jump into. I know that a couple of folks in the community have put a lot of work into Firefox Color, and we're really appreciative of those contributions. So if folks want to jump in and help us out getting Firefox Color updated, I think I still have a few more bugs to file to reflect what those updates are going to be, but we would definitely love some help keeping that tool kind of current and working. So those right now are those are the biggest changes coming up for the add-ons community in 89. Circling back to FTP, I'm so sorry, I forgot to say this before, but one of the things that we're trying to do to help offset the removal of the built-in Firefox FTP implementation is that we've added FTP to the list of protocol handlers for extensions. So if you're writing an extension, you can make FTP links be delegated to open in another application that can handle FTP. So that's coming up. Hey, Xander, nice, thanks for joining us. So those are the biggest updates. So those are the big things to look forward to in the next couple of releases. The other thing is that 89 is going to be in a longer beta cycle. So before it was going to be released in May, and it has been delayed until June 1st. So anything that you're doing that is impacted by 89, you have until June 1st to kind of take a look at it and see what's going on. The second thing I wanted to bring up was this really cool post on the forum about extension pay. So extension pay is this is a product that has been made by an extension developer who's done some kind of cool stuff. And what extension pay is it allows for in-extension payment handling. So if you have a feature that you want to gate on payment, extension pay can help you manage that, and it can help you accept payments directly from, within the extension itself without relying on the like contribute now button that sends people off to like another link. So I'm just throwing this out there because this is something that got flagged last year when we were researching add-on monetization as one thing that we could do to help add-on developers be financially successful so that they can spend more time building products they love instead of working 10 jobs or selling their extension to a shady company because the shady company wants the user data. We are still taking a look at the libraries used by this to make sure that they hit our security standards. Our early investigation has been promising, but we're slated to do a deeper dive into it this week. So I'm throwing that out there because we're not quite ready to update our documentation yet and encourage developers to go use the solution. But this is something that we saw come in last week that we're very interested in, and we're going to go check out. The other thing that I heard from a couple folks in the community was that this sounds like a great idea, but they're really concerned that Mozilla that it's developed by a third party and not implemented by Mozilla. And I totally understand that. I would say right now, given the current size of our team and given the amount of stuff that we're trying to keep up in the air, I would say it's really unlikely that we're going to be implementing a payment processing solution for the Firefox add-ons ecosystem in the near future. We were monitoring this as a thing that we could do, and then we saw that the Chrome Web Store removed it, and that we thought that was a little surprising, given that we knew that some add-on developers were prioritizing their Chrome extensions because of that particular feature. But so yeah, so that's just an update, not saying that it will never happen, just saying that it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. So I know a couple of folks were interested in kind of like implementing something like this themselves. Let us know how it goes. Super curious. Okay, the next thing on the list. Oh, I guess I should ask, are there any questions about either extension pay or any of the upcoming Firefox releases?
I have no question. I have some things to do regarding extension pay. It seems like a really neat library, very easy to use for a developer. I like the idea. I was wondering, how do they, if they manage the use case where a user would buy something inside the extension and then uninstall and reinstall the extension. And it seems to be managed pretty easily inside their API. Yeah, it seems great. I like it.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice feature too. So if you have a user who's like, oops, I accidentally uninstalled this thing that I paid for, it's like not the worst thing. Like they can get it back without too much pain.
Yeah, that's neat.
I will pass that along to the developer. Thank you, Sylvain. So Manifest v3. So we are kicking this off. Manifest 3 is a really big umbrella of changes to the extension platform itself. We have just started looking at doing some engineering work on this, mostly by going after some low-hanging fruit. We are not anticipating having any more Manifest v3 changes until probably sometime in late H2. So we're looking at the end of the year, possibly next year, for kind of the first big changes to roll out. So at this time, we don't have an update on when we're going to be accepting extensions with a Manifest v3 in them. And we owe everyone some communications about what we're looking at doing and what the very loose timing is. So I'm letting the members of the community know first. But you can probably expect to see some communications from us in the next couple of weeks, including some communications about blocking web request and declarative net request. For the moment, what it's looking like is that we are going to implement declarative net request to make things easier for developers who want to manage one set of code for both extensions. But at this time, it does not look like we are intending to remove blocking web request. So yeah, we'll publish something more official sometime in the next couple of weeks, I would say.
To be fair, if you check the on the side of Google, their documentation and their information about how to migrate stuff is months and months old. So yeah, it's not great on the Google side for sure.
Okay, that's good to know, because I know that they had like some timelines published and I was like, oh, we don't have that. We definitely don't have that. Okay, cool. And then the last thing, so one of the projects that the team is working on for this half of the year is a project to help bring more users to Firefox through extensions. So some of the stuff that we're doing is around improving SEO performance on AMO itself. So there's been a couple of more interesting things on the back end around performance that hopefully we can get some of the engineers to talk about in an upcoming show and tell. But something that we're looking at rolling out this week is an A/B test on a couple of tweaks to the call outs for non-Firefox users who visit AMO, and the call outs encourage them to download Firefox so that they can install the extension that they landed on the AMO page for. So that's only going to impact non-Firefox users. So if you use Firefox exclusively, you're probably not going to see the A/B test. But if you just happen to be cruising around using another browser and you find yourself on AMO sometime in the next week or so, just check to see if check to see how enticing we make it to download Firefox, and let us know how you find the A/B test. So yeah, we're going to be comparing the tweaks to the control group, which is how it currently is. It's only going to hit a small sample size. So it's definitely the A/B, like not everybody is going to be enrolled in the A/B test itself, but just keep your eyes open in case you see something interesting this week. Those are pretty much all of the things that are coming up right now. There any questions or comments? Would love to hear them. Okay, cool. One last thing I'm just going to throw out there is that it's outreachy application season right now. The web extensions community or the add-ons community at Firefox, we are not sponsoring an outreachy intern this year. So if you see an outreachy intern in the wild who looks interested in an add-ons related bug, if you could gently ask them what project they're interested in applying to, that would be great. Usually with outreachy during the contribution period, that's a time when applicants can build a relationship with their mentor and actually contribute to parts of the project that the actual internship will be addressing. And so sometimes when they wander into particularly like web extensions bugs, it's good to do a really quick check and just make sure that they're on the right path and are doing what they can to strengthen their application. Not that we don't want them, we totally do. Love contributions. Just want to make sure that they get credited properly. Okay, cool beans. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up. I can't believe it's already April 19th. This month seems to have just completely flown by. Yeah, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you around the web. Good to see you.
Thank you.